I remember a crisp autumn morning not too long ago when I found myself sitting at my kitchen table, hands wrapped around a warm mug of tea, staring at a stack of Social Security pamphlets. The scent of toast drifted through the air, but I hardly noticed because my mind was racing with worry. The clock was ticking toward my 70th birthday, and I still hadn't decided when or how to claim my Social Security benefits. Friends had insisted I file the moment I turned 62 so I could finally relax. But something in my gut said there was a better approach. After all, we spend a lifetime working. Don't we deserve to make the most out of the system we've paid into? But there I was on the cusp of a milestone birthday, more uncertain than ever. I'd seen so many people in my life rush to claim benefits early, only to find themselves struggling financially just a few years later. For some folks, it might be the right choice, but for many others, it can lead to smaller checks for the rest of their lives. This fear of missing out, or worse, running out of money can be crippling, especially when you're supposed to be enjoying the fruits of your labor. And the real heartbreak is watching the years slip by while being locked into lower monthly payments simply because we weren't given better guidance. The truth is, what you decide to do about Social Security can either open doors to opportunities, like being able to travel, spend more on hobbies, or even help a grandchild pay for college, or it can limit your lifestyle at a time when you finally have the freedom to do as you please. In the next few minutes, we'll explore 5 key insights I've discovered through my own journey and from others who found a way to get the most out of their benefits. By the end of this conversation, you'll see that there's hope and opportunity for those of us heading into our 70s and beyond, and that it's never too late to make choices that can dramatically improve our financial picture. It took me years of research and countless conversations with accountants, financial advisors, and seniors who'd already taken the plunge. The fascinating thing I learned is that the system isn't just about an age number or a single claim. It's a set of rules that can be used to your advantage, if you know where to look. That's why I'm excited to share these 5 insights with you now. Stick with me through all of them, because the final one is a strategy almost no one talks about, yet it completely changed my outlook on retirement. And just to reassure you, this isn't simply my opinion. Numerous professionals, financial planners, economists, and even Social Security Administration employees have confirmed the powerful difference these approaches can make. Before we dive in, if this topic resonates with you and you want more videos on practical strategies to enhance your financial well-being, please consider subscribing here and leaving a quick comment. Type 1 in the comments if you're hopeful about your retirement, and 0 if you're feeling uncertain. Let's see how many of us are navigating the same path and learn from each other's experiences. Now let's talk about how you can maximize your Social Security benefits and transform your later years into a season of abundance rather than anxiety. Because the only thing worse than leaving money on the table is realizing too late that you could have had a better life if you'd only taken a different route. The first insight that changed everything for me is a direct challenge to the popular belief that claiming Social Security as early as possible is always the best choice. You've probably heard it a million times. Just file at 62 so you can start getting your money right away. Yet there's a downside to rushing this process, and it's more significant than most people realize. The common misconception is that if you don't grab your benefits at 62, you'll miss out on years of payments and you'll never make up the difference. This sounds logical on the surface. After all, you're forfeiting a few years of potential income. But consider Ron, a 68-year-old retired engineer who reluctantly followed his friend's advice and claimed early, convinced it was free money. He ended up with a benefit amount that was 25% lower than what he would have received at his full retirement age. Now he's finding it harder to meet his monthly budget, let alone enjoy any of the adventures he once dreamed about. What many seniors overlook is that Social Security benefits increase every year you delay taking them until age 70. These increases are significant, about 8% per year after full retirement age. That's an almost guaranteed rate of return you won't easily find elsewhere. Think of it like planting a fruit tree. If you let it grow just a little bit longer, you'll harvest more fruit year after year. The practical, actionable advice here is to run the numbers for your specific situation. Many people think they have to do complicated financial modeling, But you can start with the Social Security Administration's own benefit calculators, which are free online tools. If you're unsure, you can even reach out to a trusted financial counselor at your local senior center for guidance on how to interpret your results. The emotional benefit of waiting, if your situation allows, is the peace of mind in knowing that each check will be larger. You'll have a buffer against inflation and other unforeseen costs, making your day-to-day life feel more secure and freeing you to consider things like a small trip to visit family or taking up a new hobby. That sense of security can feel like a breath of fresh air. Imagine waking up every morning knowing you have a bit more cushion for those unexpected medical bills or for the rising cost of groceries. Instead of feeling pressed, you can savor your morning cup of coffee, maybe even plan a short getaway with friends, and simply enjoy this phase of life the way it was meant to be enjoyed, without the constant worry about running out of money. The second insight dives deeper into something most of us never realized we could do: coordinate spousal and survivor benefits in a way that maximizes the total amount a household receives. It's easy to assume Social Security is a solitary, individual matter. Just file your claim and be done with it. But if you're married, divorced, under certain conditions, or widowed, the benefits picture expands dramatically. A common misconception is that spousal benefits are insignificant or automatically handled by the Social Security Administration. But let's look at Elaine, age 72, who was married for 35 years before her husband passed away. Initially, she claimed her survivor's benefit immediately because she needed the money. Over time, though, she realized she could have claimed her own smaller benefit first, allowing her survivor's benefit to grow until she reached 70. By not doing so, she lost out on a substantially higher monthly payment for the rest of her life. The surprising truth is that Social Security has rules allowing you to start one benefit, like a spousal or survivor's benefit, while delaying your own retirement benefit so it can accrue delayed retirement credits. Think of this like a two-tiered approach to retirement income. One layer gives you some financial support now, while the other quietly grows behind the scenes, ready to step in later as a heftier benefit. If you think this might apply to you, the practical step is to contact Social Security directly or consult with an advisor who understands these rules. Even a quick call or two can reveal options you never knew existed. And if it feels intimidating, remember that knowledge is power. Just knowing that these strategies are available can spark a renewed sense of hope. The emotional benefit is huge. No longer do you have to feel trapped by the sense that what's done is done. Instead, you can plan around real possibilities, ensuring that if something happens to you, your spouse, or ex-spouse in certain cases, is taken care of. Or if you've lost a spouse, you can seize the opportunity to secure a stronger financial base for yourself. That kind of relief can replace financial anxiety with a sense of balance and confidence, no matter what life brings. If you're still here with me, I'd love to know your thoughts. Comment 2 down below if these insights are getting you excited about the possibilities. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. Your engagement really helps this channel provide more valuable information for our community of seniors seeking better, smarter ways to thrive in retirement. The third insight centers on the idea that your Social Security claiming decision doesn't live in a vacuum. In fact, the total picture of your retirement finances, things like pensions, personal savings, annuities, and even part-time work, can all influence when and how you should claim. There's a widespread belief that Social Security is a one-size-fits-all program, and that all you really need is the age chart to figure out your best move. But this is only partly true. Meet Harold, age 73, a retired teacher who also receives a modest pension from his school district. He thought that pension alone would cover most of his needs, so he went ahead and claimed Social Security at 65. Over time, he realized that his pension actually made it feasible for him to wait until 70, which would have boosted his monthly Social Security payments significantly. Harold regrets that decision now because the synergy between his pension and a delayed Social Security check could have given him the flexibility to travel and help his daughter pay for her graduate school expenses. The big takeaway here is that you should evaluate all your income streams together. It's not just about Social Security in isolation, but about how it blends with everything else. Think of your retirement income as a symphony orchestra. If one instrument starts playing too early or too loudly, it can throw off the harmony of the entire piece. But when each instrument or income source comes in at just the right time, it creates a beautiful, balanced performance. Practically speaking, you can do something as simple as listing all your monthly income sources, then projecting how they might change over the next decade. A pen and paper, an online calculator, or a brief meeting with a financial coach can illuminate these patterns. The emotional payoff is the chance to say yes to more experiences, like a weekend away at a cozy bed and breakfast or a spontaneous dinner out with friends, because you're not second-guessing your finances every time you swipe your card. What makes this approach so empowering is that it reaffirms you have choices. Retirement shouldn't feel like a time of being boxed in. It should feel like the gateway to opportunities you couldn't explore before. When you see how everything works together, pension, Social Security, and even that little side gig you do for extra cash, it can ignite a renewed passion for the future. You start to envision not just paying your bills, but thriving in ways that bring genuine joy and enrichment to your days. The fourth insight might take you by surprise because it involves considering the tax implications of your Social Security benefits. Many of us assume that once we retire, taxes become a smaller concern, or even disappear altogether. But here's the twist. If you have other income sources, a portion of your Social Security might be taxable, reducing the actual amount you get to keep each month. The misconception is that taxes are fixed and you can't do much about them. But consider Sharon, 70, who worked part-time as a consultant after retiring from her corporate job. She never factored in the tax consequences when deciding to claim at 66. That extra income from consulting pushed her into a bracket where 85% of her Social Security benefits became taxable. She ended up with less spendable income than she'd planned for, which forced her to cut back on some of the activities she cherished, like volunteering at her local animal shelter several afternoons a week. The truth is, there are often ways to reduce or control how much of your benefits get taxed. Strategies like withdrawing money from certain accounts at specific times, using Roth IRAs to limit taxable income, or carefully timing your claim can help you keep more of the money you've earned. Picture it like adjusting the thermostat in your home. A small tweak, like changing the source of your withdrawals, could cool down that tax bill and heat up your net benefits. On a practical level, it might be wise to consult a tax professional or financial advisor who understands retirement income strategies. They can help you see a roadmap for combining Social Security, withdrawals from IRAs or 401ks, and other income to minimize your tax burden. The emotional benefit here is that you can stop feeling blindsided by unexpected bills or tax payments. Instead of being caught off guard every April, you can breathe easy, knowing you've structured your finances in a way that supports your lifestyle instead of siphoning away your resources. If you're still watching, comment 4 below to let me know you made it this far. It makes a big difference when I see your feedback, and it helps this community grow. Also, if you haven't already subscribed, I encourage you to do so. This channel is all about empowering you with information that can turn your retirement years into a time of discovery and delight, rather than fear and uncertainty. The fifth and final insight is the one that revolutionized my own approach. Exploring the file and suspend and restricted application strategies. Terms that sound intimidating but can be surprisingly accessible. Although recent law changes have affected their availability, there are still elements of these strategies that can be adapted, especially for certain birth years. Many people believe these options have disappeared altogether, but that's not entirely true. I once chatted with George, age 69, who assumed he'd missed the boat. He'd heard about the old file and suspend rules, but thought they no longer applied. After doing a bit more digging, he discovered that while some of the rules had indeed changed, he could still file for his benefit while allowing his wife to collect a spousal benefit, thereby increasing their total household income. This gave him the freedom to delay his own benefit until 70, unlocking that full 8% annual boost. The reality is that Social Security claiming strategies can be like hidden pathways in a large forest. Some paths might be closed or less accessible than they used to be, but there are often alternative routes. The key is knowing where to look and not being discouraged by what you might have read in a headline. In many cases, older strategies have been replaced by new ones, or partial versions of them remain that can still benefit you. From a practical standpoint, it's all about persistence. If you encounter one Social Security representative who doesn't seem knowledgeable about these options, try calling again or visiting a different office. Sometimes another representative might have more specialized experience. Or consider investing a little in meeting with a professional who focuses on retirement planning. The emotional payoff is that you could unlock options that significantly increase your monthly benefits, freeing you to support a grandchild's college education, donate to a cause you care about, or simply enjoy a better standard of living. Imagine the smile on your face when you see that monthly deposit reflect the maximum possible amount for your situation. It's not just about numbers on a page, it's about new opportunities. The ability to say yes to that family reunion across the country or that cruise you've always talked about but never felt you could afford. It's the difference between feeling restricted and feeling ready to greet each day with anticipation for what's next. When you look back on these 5 insights, you'll see that each one has the power to transform the way you approach your Social Security benefits. First, there's the idea of not rushing to claim the moment you hit 62, especially if you can wait to reap those valuable delayed retirement credits. Second, there's the often overlooked potential of spousal and survivor benefits. Using one benefit first while letting another grow in the background can dramatically boost your household income over the long run. Third, you recognize the importance of coordinating your Social Security claiming with every other source of retirement income you have, whether it's a pension, rental property, or side business. Fourth, you gain a clearer grasp of how taxes can erode your benefits and how you can control that more than you might think. Finally, the advanced techniques, whether they're old rules still partially in effect or new variations, offer paths that might surprise you with how much they can elevate your monthly check. Time is precious, and if there's any urgency here, it's that every year you delay learning about these strategies could mean money lost or opportunities missed. The more you explore these tactics, the more you'll see how they can change the retirement landscape entirely. While it's true that no one solution fits everyone, knowing your range of options is empowering. It gives you a sense of command over your future, something we all deserve to feel at this stage in our lives. I encourage you to pause for a moment and imagine your own life applying these points. Picture yourself waking up on a Monday morning, free from the dread of financial strain. Maybe you're planning a family gathering for the coming weekend, or perhaps you finally got the wiggle room in your budget to sign up for those art classes you've always wanted to try. Think about one small step you can take today, like researching spousal benefits or calling Social Security to verify your assumptions, and follow through on it. That single action can create a ripple effect, making the next step easier and more intuitive. If any of these ideas resonated with you, I'd love to hear which one made the strongest impression. Are you more interested in spousal benefits, or are you curious about ways to reduce your tax burden? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights and experiences can help guide others who are on the same path, reminding us all that we're not alone in navigating these decisions. Now, before you go, I have a final request. If you found this conversation helpful or know someone else who might benefit, please hit that like button and consider subscribing. Share it with a friend or family member who's nearing retirement. Sometimes the simplest act of passing along information can change a loved one's life in ways you can't even imagine. You might also leave a comment about your own journey, because each of our experiences adds valuable perspective for others. By subscribing and engaging with this community, you're helping create a space where seniors can learn, grow, and find the hope and opportunity they deserve in retirement. Thank you for spending this time with me and exploring these strategies that can genuinely expand your financial horizon. The power to shape your retirement lies in your hands, and knowledge is the key that opens the door. Here's to maximizing your benefits, embracing new chapters, and living each day with a renewed sense of possibility. I can't wait to see the ways these ideas transform your life, and I'll be here cheering you on every step of the way.